Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to class. Today we're going to play with um, inner thighs. I mean, just kind of a little bit of everything, but we're going to work our way toward a reverse triangle. And it requires us to not only have nice, open, stretched legs, strong legs, but also this ability to twist. So I want you to start. We are going to start laying down. And I want you to take both of your blocks toward the end of your mat, not all the way. You know, maybe there's a foot from the end of your mat um, to where your blocks are. And I'm going to stay upright just because I want to read something. But you're going to lay down so that the middle of your calves are resting on your blocks. Socks off. So you're just going to be like that. And you can adjust the blocks so that they feel comfortable and yet supported on your legs. Your knees don't feel like they're hyperextending or anything like that. You're just able to softly rest there. And then your hands are either down at your sides or maybe they're resting on your belly. And you start to tap into your breath here. And you notice the flow of breath in and back out again. So again, from the Half-Life of Angels, Mark Nepo, I think I will have read this entire book of poetry by the time we're done. And this one is called Coming Up for Air. Coming Up for Air. The times are hard and unexpected. They always are. But the river of being that carries us is always life-giving if we can reach it. This, as ever, requires diving where we are, not running from what is. We must be brave and must beware, mostly of ourselves. For the mind is like a spider. It will weave many webs, but the heart is like an arrow of light. It will pierce the hole in the dark that life will fill. Along the way, we stumble in the dark, our fierce and tender honesty, the lamp we swing between us. I love that. Love it, love it. All right. And I didn't say, but I have your strap where you can grab it. Sorry about that. So you're here laying on the floor. You've got your legs supported on your blocks. You are feeling the breath. And as in his poem, we know that the mind can spread these webs out and we can create all kinds of things that are not necessarily the truth. And yet, if we listen with the heart instead, we might find that light that guides us wherever we are. So very simply, your right arm is straight down at your side. You're going to take the right arm up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, let it go overhead on the floor. My palm is face up, but you can play with your palm in any way. And then inhale the arm up, exhale down. Just two more like that. Inhale the right arm up and over. Exhale that arm all the way down. Inhale up. Exhale behind you. Inhale it up. And exhale down. Same thing on the left side, just three of them. Inhale slow. Exhale it behind you. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale it down. Good. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale it up and exhale it down. Going back to the first side, the right leg and right arm are going to lift. The left foot is going to rest on your block. So bend your left knee and let your left foot or your left heel find your block. And inhale, right side up. Arm goes all the way back. Exhale, both right leg and right arm down. Inhale everything up. Exhale it down. Last one here. Inhale. Exhale. And then take the right arm and right leg up and hold and breathe. Start to tone through the belly, level out the hips, flex your foot. Now, if holding your right leg up is a challenge, I want you to take both hands behind your thigh or grab your strap. But ideally, just use the hands for now and straighten the left leg so it is back on the block. Find your breath, tone through the lower belly, release both arms overhead if you can, and breathe. And then lower the right leg all the way down to the floor, lower both arms, bend the right knee, the right foot goes to your block, left arm, left leg, inhale it all the way up, exhale it all the way down. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. And then take the left leg up. Maybe hold on to it with your hands, maybe not. Straighten the right leg so that it's on your block again. Reach through the left heel. Feel this really nice stretch, everybody. If you can, release the arms, take them overhead. Find your breath, good strong legs, and lower everything down. Good, go back to the right leg, lift the right leg, hold right here, press your hands down into the floor, press your arms into the floor, lift your left leg a couple inches off your block. Yes, we got core work, everybody. Find your breath. If this is too much, if you are overarching, either press that leg back to the block or put your hands underneath your glutes. Good. Raise the left leg up, lower the right leg either all the way to the block or a couple of inches above it. Keep the shoulders down. Don't lift your chin. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, the left leg either hovers or lowers. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, right leg lowers. Hang on, we're almost done. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, lower left. We're almost there. We only have one more on the other side. Inhale it up. Exhale, lower. And take both legs back down to your blocks. Good job, everybody. And then grab your strap. Bend your left foot and let that foot rest on the block. Take the strap around your right foot. Take the right foot up to the ceiling. Slide that strap down toward your heel. I want you to play with this idea here. If you're okay, go ahead and straighten the left leg again so that we're back with both legs straight. Flex your right foot. Hold on to the strap with your right hand. Keep the foot straight and take the right leg out to the right side. Just any amount. I want you to keep your left heel mostly down on the floor. Or yeah, if it lifts a little bit, it's okay. And then inhale, reach it up and hold. Take your strap, wrap it around the outside of your ankle to the inside of your ankle so that now you're in an external rotation. I'm still holding the strap with my right hand. My left hip is going to stay down. And as you exhale, let the leg go out to the right again. I want you to just get a sense of how that feels for you. Does it feel different to have the leg externally rotated, or did it feel better when the leg was straight? Inhale, bring it back up. Last one, you're going to take the strap, unwrap, and then wrap the strap inside your ankle, around to the outside, pull on the strap a little bit so that the hip, leg, foot internally rotates, and do the same thing. You're going to open the leg out, just see how it feels to you, and bring it back up. Release your strap, bend your knee, release both legs, and bring your legs to your chest. I'm just going to turn myself around so I have room to do that on the other side. And kind of notice what the legs feel like. Maybe you windshield wipe both feet. Yeah, you'll feel your calf muscles on the block. And then bend your left or your right foot, put that on the block, take the left leg up to the ceiling. Hold on to the strap with your left foot, walk the strap back down toward the heel. And then if the hamstrings allow, go ahead and straighten your right leg. And breathe. Strap is holding on tight to that left side. Go ahead and open the left leg out to the side. Foot stays straight. Just notice where you feel the stretch. Notice when the right side hip wants to lift. And then squeeze it back up. Take the strap, wrap it around the outside ankle to the inside ankle. Pull on the strap so that the leg externally rotates, right? Toes point out to the side. And let's go there again. Go slow. Really feel where the leg stretches. What's happening? Do the hips go really askew? And take it up. We're almost done. Release that wrap. Go to the other direction. So the strap wraps inside to outside. The leg, hip, and foot roll in and go to the outside again. Leg outside. Whew. And breathe. And take it up. Nice job, everybody. While you have that strap, take both feet up in your strap and then open up the legs. My strap's in a big loop, so I'm just going to let the strap do the work. If your strap is not in a loop, since I did not cue it, just hold on to either end of the strap and press your feet away from you. Stretch into that strap. Press the legs out. Try to keep the knees relatively straight. Big deep breath. And bend the knees, release. Good job. Take that strap out. And then both knees to chest. Both legs straight up. Both legs wide. Both knees bend. And then the knees come back together. Just one more like that. Legs straight up. Both legs go super wide. Both knees bend. The heels come to your hips. And then both knees come in to center. Nice job. Roll over to one side. And come on up. Whew. I know, lots of warm up today, lots and lots of warm up. You can move the blocks out of the way for a moment. Actually, maybe keep one block nearby. I'm going to take the outer shirt off because I'm getting warm now. Feel free to sit up on a blanket or a couple of blankets here. Have one block nearby. And then come into what would normally be your Janu Sirsasana, or single leg would be a forward fold. One block can go under the knee, especially if that knee is up high. The other block is just in front of you and the leg is straight. The hips are straight, right? Everything's nice and parallel. And then take your hands to your block. It can be up high, it can be down low. And draw the shoulders back as the torso stays long. I don't want you to fold forward. I don't want you to round, right? Let's be really mindful of the spine and try to draw the mid space of the spine forward to keep the spine pretty neutral. And just notice how that feels. And then take this long leg, this long foot, externally rotate it and see how that feels. See, everybody's different. Everybody's hips are differently designed, socketed. And so an external rotation might actually feel better to you than a straight. Bring the same leg straight and internally rotate the foot. For some people, this is easy. For me, it goes about nowhere because my hips are not made that way. But I'm going to roll it all in and come forward once again. Good. Take a deep breath here, everybody. And then come on up. We're almost done with this leg. I want you to straighten it again and slide. So this is my left foot. If I'm mirroring it, would be your right leg. I want you to slide that hip forward. So now we're a little bit diagonal with the sacrum. Okay, so that hip just came forward. Grab your block and put it right in front of you. And you're looking at that block, pulling the shoulders back, toning through the belly. Your foot is pretty straight here. And then take the block so that it's straight over your leg. And then take it again so it goes past your leg any amount. Here's a twist, right? So any amount, it's going past that leg. You're staying really lifted. Go back to the leg. Go back center right out from the groin, and then go the other way. Here's another twist. Think about it. Keep everything really tall. Good. Go back to the center. Go back to the leg. Go back the other way. Just notice, center, and release it. Good job, everyone. Release that side, straighten the other leg, come into Janu Sirsasana on the other side. So we start out nice and neutral. That block can go in front of us at any height. And the hips are squared. So from here, foot is straight. I want you to lengthen. It's like, imagine there's a huge, one of those big exercise balls in front of you, and you want to lift up over that ball and then come forward. But you don't want to lean on that imaginary ball. You want to stay really lifted over it. And then find that first stretch. Again, right leg, left leg, completely different for some. Breathe. And then just turn the extended leg out, externally rotated. And breathe and just notice, what did that change? Where do you feel the change in the stretch? What's actually happening? And then bring it to center, turn that, it's so funny. It like goes nowhere for me. So bring that foot, that leg inward and notice how that feels for you. Big deep breath. And foot center, take the torso back to center, slide the extended legs hip forward so that you are a little bit more sideways with, it's really just a diagonal with the sacrum. Grab your block, take it over your front leg. Front leg is active. And breathe. Shoulders are soft. And then start to twist on this side, taking that block over, and notice, where are you twisting? What's actually happening in your body? And come back over your foot. Go to the middle part, right out from the center of the groin. And go the other way. And notice again what feels easy, what feels hard. Come over the center. Go over the foot. Go past the foot. You don't have to go far. To the foot. Release your block down straight in front of you. Maybe you come forward. And come on up, slide that hip back, open both legs. Woo. And I don't know if you just noticed what I did. I opened the legs and then I actually slid my hips forward to get the flesh out from the sit bones. Lift up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. You've got your block. Maybe you take your elbows to the block and you just pause. Check your feet. What is the tendency here? If you weren't flexing your feet, would you tend to roll out, straight, or in? What is your normal for your hips? So just let that be, relax that a little bit, and think about the torso moving over that beach ball again. Big deep breath. Good. One more. No rounding. No, 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 no. Let's stay tall. And then release, just take the feet to Baddha Konasana. Again, really soft, maybe one block under one knee, one block under the other knee. Again, you can go nice and tall here and breathe. And then imagine this whole front of the body coming forward up over the beach ball. And the torso is leaning forward, but not rounding. Nice job, everybody. Take those legs up. Give them a good squeeze. I know that was a lot already. Have your blocks to the front of your mat. We're coming to table pose. You're going to be on your hands and your knees. If you're having an injury on that hand, you know who you are, my dear lovely Betty. Come on down to elbows instead. But otherwise, you're going to put your hands on your blocks. Your knees or hips width apart. Press the left leg back, squeeze in through the belly, lift the leg, hold right here. And then turn your toes out to the side, your left side toes, and just lift your hip up. Just lift it up like you're going to go sideways. And then drop the hip back to level. Turn the toes, lift the hip, and come back to level. We got one more just like that. Your glute should be really engaged here. Turn the toes. Feel how the hip externally rotates, and then just lift the hip up a little bit. And release. Nice job, everyone. Same thing, other side. Right leg goes back, the leg lifts, the belly squeezes in. Find your breath. Turn the toes out and lift the hip. Come back to neutral. Turn out the toes, externally rotate the leg, lift the hip. Release, one more just like this. Turn the toes out and lift the hip. And release it, both knees to the floor. Go ahead and press back, nice long spine. Come on up, one more here. You're back to table pose again. You can do this on elbows. You're just going to be much lower lift. Tone in through the belly. Flex your left toes and then just lift the knee out to the side. Yep, I know. You know, these are these are really not a bunch of fun, but hang in there with me. Notice that you're probably leaning to the outside of your right knee. Just come a little bit more center. Doesn't matter how high your knee is. Yes, we're holding this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Same thing, tone in through the lower belly. When you're ready, lift the right knee. Let me find a little bit more space here. Lift, flex your foot, find level. Just try not to overly lean into the left leg, left hip. Woo. And breathe, hold, don't let the knee drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. I know you're happy to let that go. All right, your hands, if the blocks are down low, you can stay. We're coming to downward facing dog. And again, for my dear Betty, We're going to come to standing very quickly, or very shortly, if you want to skip this part, or chair. Hold that down dog, squeeze the beach ball between those arms. It's not a big squeeze, by the way. And then take your feet wide and walk your hands back. You can move your blanket out of the way. Move your strap out of the way. You're going to need your blocks and you're going to turn sideways on your mat. You're going to take both blocks up at their highest level in front of you. And then I want you to go wide, but stand tall. And think about the fact, so this is going to come to play a couple times. Your hip joint is actually down here, right? It's where the femur comes into the hip joint. Your hip and your outer ankle should be in a line. And you would think that would make sense, but sometimes we'll bring the weight forward. Sometimes we'll bring our butts back and we're out of alignment there. So I want you to play with the idea that when we come forward, your ankle to hip bone or hip joint are lined up. So hands to the front. I want you to push the heels of your hands into the top of your thighs and lean over your blocks and then take your hands to the blocks. I'm going to go sideways so you can see what I'm doing here. I am centered in the middle of my feet. Both feet are pointing straight ahead. The hips, you'll notice, right? If you lean too far forward, you're heavy in the front of your foot. You lean too far back, you're in the heels. Find the middle space. And then the blocks are forward enough that your torso is neutral. It's lengthened. I'm not rounding, I'm not folding, I'm not doing anything. And then I'm going to push the legs apart isometrically. From here, just turn the toes in so that the inner thighs roll out, roll back, and just see how that feels in your particular body. Straighten the toes and then draw the heels in. So again, external, internal rotation and neutral, and just kind of get a sense. How's that feel in my body? And breathe. And then find the one that feels best for you. I'm just going to face forward again. For me, it's pretty much straight, maybe just a slight turnout. I'm going to press out through the heels. The blocks are going to come together on in front of me, right under my nose. My left hand stays down. The right arm goes out to the side. And just pause. Let the right arm swing down and just to the side. Don't go high. Down, side. Now, the next time that arm is out to the side, hold. Allow, if that's my right arm, allow the left hip to dip a little bit, just a little. And then draw the arm up as an extension of your chest. What does that mean? I'm not pulling the arm back. I'm moving from the center of my chest, keeping all that integrity there, and then finding the distance of my particular twist. And then come on down. Good. Turn the feet out, bend the knees, come on up. So what's happening here is if we hold the hips really rigid, and this is an area of some discussion in the yoga world, right? We come into a forward fold. I'm not going to let my hips shift. And then as I try to turn, right, I can create some torque there. So it's not a big drop, but it's a little bit of a shift to give my legs, hips permission to find the twist. Okay, so we're going to do that on the other side. Come on down. Maybe bend the knees and give them a little bit of a break and then straighten them. The blocks are pretty much together at the center of your mat. Your right hand stays down. The left arm just goes out from the shoulder. And then let it swing down and back to shoulder only. Notice the waist, right? Notice the small twist. Last one, bring it out to the side and hold. And then maybe as the arm goes up, maybe that right side dips a little, but not a lot. Breathe. I'm going to pause. I'm going to notice, did I shift my weight forward like I just did? Breathe. Maybe the arm will go a little more, maybe not. And back down again. Whew. Good. Walk the blocks just slightly closer. Turn your toes out and bend your knees and sit way back in the heels. Way, way, way back. Press the knees out to the side. Just hold. Belly tones in. One hand to one knee. One hand to the other knee. And come on up. And give your glutes a good squeeze. Notice if your pose is too wide or not. For me again, in goddess pose, toes are out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come into a squat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, slow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, this time we hold, kind of sink in. Maybe the thumb and index finger touches, the elbows are close to the body. The low belly, pubic bone to belly button, zips up, right? We support the back by supporting the core. Big deep breath, press the knees out. Feel the center of your feet. And stand up, everyone. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Turn your toes forward. Hinge from your hips. Your hands are either on your blocks nice and high, or you lower the blocks and come a little bit lower, or you lower the blocks again. Here's the thing. See if you can keep your torso really long and neutral. So not bringing that rounding into either the low back or the upper back. And then walk or slide your blocks forward as if you were doing a wide leg downward facing dog. Keep your heels on the floor. Find your breath. And then slide your blocks back, bring them back to that highest level so you come back to more neutral spine. Heel toe in, bend your knees, and come on up, everybody. Whew. Nice job. Shake them out. I know that's a whole lot of stuff. So come on back to the front of your mat. Again, if you're using a chair here, we're going to just come into a lunge. So you can use the chair for your support instead of the floor. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees, step back with your right leg. Bring those blocks into play. I like them at the second level. You decide for you. The hips kind of level out, right? From high and low, but also from front to back. The hips level out. Press through your standing leg. Take your hands to your knee. Your back knee can be down, by the way. Come on up to a nice solid lunge. Knee up or knee down. Good. Find your breath. That's it. Hands slowly come back to your blocks. You're going to straighten that front leg. Level the hips. Bring that front leg hip back. The back leg's hip forward for most of us again. And then walk your blocks forward any amount here. If you can get that torso to lengthen forward. Bend your front knee, walk those blocks back again, push off your back foot, step forward, bend the knees, and take it all the way up. Exhale all the way down, shake it out. Same thing, other side, take it up. Exhale, down we go. Ooh, nice forward fold, soften the knees, step back, left leg. Either a high lunge or a low lunge, everyone. Level the hips, hone in through that low belly, hand comes to knee. As we take the torso up, we find our stability, and then take the arms up. Smile, breathe, whew. Notice, right? How's it feel? And then slowly come on down, hands to blocks, begin to straighten the front leg. Straighten is a relative term. Your hamstrings might be tight, they might be naturally a little shorter, a little longer. So if you have a bend in the front knee and you feel a stretch in your hamstring, you're just fine. You're doing it beautifully. Use your breath. Lengthen your spine, maybe walk the blocks forward a little bit. Bend the front knee, step forward, bend both knees and come up to standing. Reach those arms up, exhale down. Good, so we're staying with this. We're working our way, working to these open inner thighs, open hamstrings. So coming back here, we're gonna step back with our right leg, but not too far, right? I always think of this as a kind of 2/3 back from as far back as I could go. And then the hips level out again. This front hip does kind of a deep crease as I press the left hip back, as I reach the torso forward, just what we've been talking about. I would take those blocks up at the highest level to start, or your hands are on your chair as we start to play again with this idea of lengthening the spine. So, right, very tempting. I have pretty open hamstrings. Very tempting to just drop my chest and, feel all yogi like. But that's not what I'm really focused on today. I'm focused on how can I find length in the spine. Walk your blocks forward any amount. Plant your feet so that you feel really sturdy. Press through the back leg, engage the front leg, hold your pose. If you want to go one level lower, go ahead. Right there was an article that was talking about people whose muscles are really tight and people who are bendy, right? Bendy yogis. And the bendy yogis are the ones that have to pay attention to strength and stability because they have the flexibility already. Bend your front knee, take the blocks back to the higher level, step forward, just switch sides. Step the left leg back, level out the hips, you're already here. First, the blocks are a little closer to your foot, so you can play. Press into the back leg. Try to find that kind of middle weight right at the center of your body. Maybe walk the blocks forward. Go easy. Maybe take the blocks down a level. Stay tall. Find your breath. Bend your front knee, step forward, hands to knee, look up and come up. Woo! And just shake everything out. Grab one block and just take it between the thighs. Give it a good squeeze. Let's kind of square everything back to center. We have a little ways to go here. Woo. Yeah, just kind of notice. You can even shift a little side to side. Roll your shoulders. Shake it out. And then take your blocks back to the front of your mat. I'm just going to switch sides just for the fun of it. And take your left foot forward, this time a big step back, right? So think we just did closed hip, pyramid pose. Now we're doing open hip. Let's just start in warrior two. I like to start in warrior two just to get my alignment, right? Because this feels right to me. And then straighten the front leg. If you want, lift the toes of your front foot. Your hips are diagonally sideways, right? They're not more forward. They're not all the way to the side. They're kind of diagonally to the side. One hand to your back hip, one hand forward without doing a deep weight dive here. I want you to just lengthen the torso forward by reaching the arm forward. And then take that hand right down to your leg, wherever it matches, wherever it meets. Don't worry about your blocks. And sorry, I should have told you, take one block to the outside of your left ankle. I should have. Watch for hyperextension in the front knee. It can be straight. And then imagine somebody pulling you out toward the front end of your mat and long at the same time. Top shoulder stays open. Either your hand is to your shin to support, or your hand is to your block. Breathe. So once again, I'm not worrying about how low to go. I'm more concerned with how much length I can find in the torso. Take the top arm up if it makes sense to you. And breathe. Good. Bend your front knee. Take your back hand to your back hip. Come on up all the way. And then square your feet to the front long edge of your mat. And let's just go to the other side. I've got my other block. I'm going to put it to the outside of my ankle. My back foot, by the way, didn't talk about that, but is either parallel to your short edge or slightly forward. I'm going to bend the knee to start just because I like to feel that my stance, my leg distance and length is in a good spot. And then I'm going to straighten the knee. Going to take the arms out, one hand to your back hip, the other one reaching, but gently take the hand down wherever it's going to go. It might be way up here at the thigh, right? That's okay. Nice length through the tailbone. Try not to overarch. Top shoulder opens up. You can either take your hand to your block or keep it on your leg and extend up through the other arm. Extended side angle, or sorry, triangle pose. That's all this is. If we bend the front knee, then we're extended side angle. Good. Breathe, everybody. Bend your front knee, back hand to your hip. Come on up. Turn all your toes forward and come into a forward fold. You can be on fingertips. You can be on flat palms. You can have your blocks. Walk the hands forward, wide leg down dog. Good. Walk the hands back, turn the toes out, and come on up. And then step those legs together. No block this time. I just want you to take the legs together, take the thighs together, and give yourself a good squeeze. Right? Squeeze the legs together, squeeze the inner ankles towards each other, squeeze through the hips and the glutes. And then shake that out, release. You're going to go back to this first block, grab both of your blocks and place them at the front of your mat. Your left foot forward, your right foot back, again, about that 2/3 distance. And then take the hands forward and take your hands to your blocks. Take the hips forward. Now just feel that. Bend the knees a little bit, go longer still. The front leg. Your back foot is turned mostly to the front. Maybe if you were looking at a clock, that foot is pointed towards somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock. Bend your front knee, go shorter. Bend the front knee, go shorter. So the step is getting shorter and shorter. If you need to move your blocks forward, go ahead. Bend the front knee, go even shorter so that the heels are lining up with the toes. This is going to feel really weird. Bend the front knee, step back to the first position we were in, about 2/3 of the way. Walk your blocks forward. Walk your blocks to the middle of each other so they're touching. And hold. And breathe. Feel the gentle pull of your front hip back. Feel the gentle roll of your back hip forward. 1, you're going to stay right here. 2, if your left leg is forward, your right hand is going to go center of your mat or center of your blocks. Your left hand's going to go to your hip and you're going to look to the left, right? So this is reverse triangle. Whew. And already it feels so different from other poses. Here's where we come back into maybe the right side hip just drops a little. Don't overdrop. Keep the back leg really solid, but maybe it drops a little bit. The left shoulder lifts, and maybe the left arm goes up to the ceiling. Breathe. And then release that hand, come back square to your blocks, separate your blocks, bend your front knee and step forward. Whew. Bend both knees, hands to knees, come on up. Give everything a little squeeze. Find your breath. Good, we're gonna switch sides. So when you're ready, you're gonna step back with your left leg. I had to think about that for a minute. Your front foot is straight, your back foot is turned ever so slightly toward that 10, 11 o'clock-ish area. You're gonna lean forward and take your hands to your blocks. Your front leg is relatively or mostly straight. Pause, this is pyramid pose. Variation, of course. Notice the roll back of the front hip. Notice the roll in of the back hip. For most of us, maybe not for you. And then bend your front knee and step even longer back, right? Just to play, just to see what happens when we go long. Bend the front leg, come back to that first position. Front leg straightens each time. Bend the front knee, walk the back foot in a little more. Maybe shift your blocks to help with that. Bend the front knee, walk that back foot even more. So pretty much my heel and my toe are lined up. It's almost like a forward fold with the legs separated. Bend your front knee, go back to that first position. Find your pose. Walk the blocks center in front of that. It's in front of your front foot, but it's in the center of your mat. It's like right below your eyes. Your left hand goes to the center of those blocks. The right hand goes to your hip. For me, my hips dip a little bit as I find the twist. And then maybe take the arm up, but maybe not. Maybe that hand stays right where it belongs on the hip to help you find the twist. Breathe. And release. Whew. Separate your blocks. Holy moly. Step forward, both feet beside each other. Bend your knees. Come on up and come to standing and just find mountain pose. Just mountain pose. And feel the length of the tailbone without the flattening of the lower back. Feel the engagement of the low abdominals without losing the curve in the lower back. Feel the shoulders move to the side or back body. And then feel the head move into its space right in the middle of the neck, right at the line of the shoulders. And imagine the line from your ear to your shoulder from your shoulder to your hip bone, from your hip bone to your outer ankle, right? There's that straight line going all the way up without the head moving forward. And open the eyes. Good job, everybody. Just shake it out. So we're going to do one more reverse triangle. This time we're going to do it a little bit more toward what you might see without the blocks being so high or so forward. So once again, you're going to take both your blocks, and I'm just going to put them both together in the middle of my mat. Probably I would start up high again. And this time I'm going to take my left foot forward, my right foot back. I'm going to reach for my blocks and just put them to the inside of my big toe. The hips square. I'm going to find my distance, right? We played with that foot being all the way up and all the way back. So find the middle distance, find what feels right to you. And then as we tilt forward, the sacrum stays really long. My hands come to my blocks. If you want to try going a little bit lower, maybe go a little bit lower. Take one block to the outside of your foot. Take one block to the inside of your foot. Here's where it gets to be a little bit of fun. As I find the length in my spine, like really get long, first thing I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to walk my blocks just a little bit more forward because it feels like I'm going to curl up in my spine. I'm going to take my right hand to the inside block. I'm going to take my left hand to my hip. I'm going to twist to the left. Whew. Breathe. Maybe take the arm, maybe not. The second option is to take that right hand to the outside block, the pinky side block. More balance work here. Slight dip of my back hip. Arm comes up. Reverse triangle. Whew. Breathe. And release slowly. Take the blocks wide. Bend your front knee. Just step forward, right leg, step back, left leg. Drop the back heel, find your distance, kind of sandwich your front foot with both blocks. Again, I feel better for me, right? Normally, this is taught with your hand or your blocks right to the outside of the foot. I feel a little bit better with more length. So I'm going to walk the blocks about halfway further up, halfway the distance of my foot. And then I'm going to start with my left hand on the inside block, my right hand to my hip. I'm just going to look to the right. Push into your back leg, everyone. And then if I want, I'm going to see if the arm will go up. Don't overdo. If you want to try a little bit more challenge, the left hand goes to that outside block. And we take the arm up. And release. Widen your blocks. Step forward. Just hang here in a forward fold. Walk your blocks forward. Soften your elbows. Whew. And then take your hands all the way to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Feet slightly wider. All you're going to do is bend the knees, tap the knees to the floor, and lift back to down dog. Exhale, tap your knees. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, tap. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, tap, hold, lower, and child's pose, or puppy stretch, or come onto your belly. How's everyone? come on up. Just briefly, right leg forward, left knee on the floor, your hands to your blocks, coming into a low lunge. Now, I want you to squeeze your cute little butt. And if your knee allows, I want you to bend your back knee, bring your heel closer to your glute, and just hold. So we have stretched the heck out of the hammies, and we are contracting those hamstrings now, stretching the front quad. Just breathe. You can take those blocks up even higher, right? It's not about the torso at this point. It's about engaging the hamstring. And then lower that side and simply switch sides for me. Bring the left foot forward. First, find that stretch, and then bend the back knee if you can, and just squeeze it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If you cramp, let it release and then come back. We're almost there. And release it. Set your blocks to the side, but somewhere where you can get to them. And then release down to your bellies. I know that feels good right now. Good. Just rock those hips side to side. Press down through the hip bones, through the pubic bone, bend one knee, point your toes, see if you can bring that foot closer to your glutes. Keep the thigh long, keep the hip down. And release. Good. Same thing, other side, bend the knee, squeeze the hamstring, point the toes, keep the hip down. And release. Flip both toes under, both feet under, or all your toes under so that your toes are on the floor. Lift your knees, lengthen your spine, and hold. Good. Release those legs. Come up to Sphinx pose. Feel the stretch in your belly. All is good here. Maybe rock a little side to side. And then lower down. And this is going to be optional. Either just hang out here for a moment or rest your forehead on your hands. Turn externally, rotate your left leg and just slide the knee out to the side. You're keeping it on the floor. This is called a hitchhiker or a rock climber. And it's not for everybody, right? Because if you're not prone to easy external rotation, this can be a really challenging pose. So just be gentle. If it hurts, don't do it, or try to just bring the knee partway to the side. Just see what you can find there. And rest. Just kind of doing nothing here. And if the left leg is out, whichever leg is out, you're going to roll onto the side of the other leg. So now you have one knee bent and one leg straight. I'm laying on my right side. My left leg is just dropped down to the floor, knee bent. Flex your right foot. Start to lift your left knee. Take the knee up to the ceiling. And then straighten the leg all the way up, heel to ceiling. Breathe. Turn your toes to the side, lower that leg. Ah, doesn't that feel nice? Bend both knees. Roll back either on, I guess you'll have to roll back onto your belly. And we're going to do the other side. First, we're flat on our bellies, our forehead resting. Our right knee slides out to the side. And we just pause. We just wait. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. Just right here. And then either you're here or your legs are both straight and you're just chilling, or you're going to roll over to the left side hip. And then just pause a second. Just let the right knee rest on the floor. The right leg or left leg is straight. You're going to start to energize that left. And then lift the right knee so that the knee is pointing up to the ceiling. And then straighten the leg. And breathe. And then lower the leg. And roll onto your backs. Take your feet wide on your yoga mat and let your knees drop to middle. I'm just going to put some socks on. Knees or feet wide, knees in. So a lot of what we've done today has been an external rotation, even though we played with both. This is an internal rotation. And I just want you to see how that feels in your body as a resting position. Just right here. And then allow both knees to go over to the right. Both knees. One's already internally rotated, one externally rotate. And just let it rest, let it stretch. A block here can be helpful, by the way, underneath either knee, really, but for some, underneath the right knee, the bottom knee can be helpful. Deep breath. Maybe you feel a nice stretch along the belly, the left side belly. Good. One more deep breath. And then both knees to center your back to that internal rotation where the feet are wide, the knees are together. And then allow both knees to go to the left. And just pause here. Just breathe. And both knees back up. Grab one of your blocks. Place it at the narrowest width between your knees. Your feet are to the floor. Squeeze your block, everyone. Nice squeeze. Release your squeeze. Go to the second width. Squeeze your block. Don't forget to breathe. Just squeeze your block, but keep your breath moving. Release your squeeze. Take that block to the third width, the widest width. Squeeze your block. Release. Go back to your second width and squeeze. Release. Go back to your first width and squeeze. And then grab that block, place it under your sacrum, lowest level, feet to the floor. I just want you to rest here. Your sacrum, right? All of that kind of one leg forward, one leg back, can throw the sacrum a little bit, especially if you are prone to that. And getting on this low, solid block, both SI joints are supported. They both have a level place to land, and this can feel really good after that kind of work. So the option here is to just stay right here, or to bring your knees to your chest and allow both legs to go up toward the ceiling to come into this very nice restorative inversion. Breathe. If you play with where your legs are in space, you will feel a different weight on the sacrum. So if I move my legs just a little bit further away from my chest, I land more solidly on the sacrum, and that feels good without having any work of the legs. For some of you, bringing the legs closer to the chest might stretch and lengthen the lower back, and that might feel good. Deep breath. Pause. Breathe. And then bend the knees. Let your knees come towards your chest. One foot to the floor. The other foot to the floor. Pause again here. Squeeze the outer hips, press into your feet, lift, and move your block out of the way. Lower your hips to the floor, one knee to chest, the other leg straight. And then switch sides, bring the left knee in, the right leg straight. And then come into your Shavasana. Legs straight. You can use your blocks here. You can put a blanket over you. Good, chilly. Find your breath. And maybe feel the evenness of your hips, the softness of your body against the mat. Soften down even more. And if you're ready, start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and just gently rock the pelvis up and down the sacrum. And then draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. Allow the knees to roll to one side. And as you're ready, press up. Come to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to that inner lantern that we carry between us to show the way. Namaste, everyone. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you coming to class.